everybody, and welcome to Just a Bit Outside, presented by WaFd Bank. Join a best bank at wafdbank.com. I'm Michelle Ludtka, and we have got a great show in store for you this week, including a one-on-one with the one and only Cliff Avril. We find out how the former Seahawk has been filling his time. Plus, we've got all new trivia and unheard sound from Dwayne Brown and Sounders head coach Brian Schmetzer. But to start things off, let's have our experts weigh in on this week's hot topics from the sidelines. This is From the Sidelines, joined by Aaron Levine, Jason Finn from Presidents of the United States of America, and Eric Duechle from the Seattle Seawolves. Thanks for joining us today, you guys.
It's an honor to be here.
Good to be here.
We're super excited to get your hot takes from the sidelines, so let's dive in with our first topic, which is some big news in Seattle this week. Hall of Famer, former Mariner Ken Griffey Jr. joining the already impressive ownership group of the Seattle Sounders. Now he's in the likes of Sierra, Russell Wilson, Macklemore, the Lewickis. What do you think about the addition?
There are only two. Okay, there's a lot of Seattle athletes that I love and cherish. There are only two that I would take a bullet for, and it's Mr. Gary Payton and Mr. Ken Griffey Jr. So anytime we're talking Ken, I'm in.
I think it's just like a legacy thing. It's really cool to see the top athletes, personalities coming together and trying to just push something local. So I love it.
Yeah, I think he's got to be a future co-owner of the Seattle Seawolves too, right, Eric?
There we go.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Well, here's my take, is I love the story behind this. He was not a huge soccer fan, but he's learned about it over the years. His wife, Melissa, is a big fan as well. And he got to be the one leading 70,000 fans at MLS Cup last year with scarves up. Listen, he's always been drawn in by the game, the atmosphere, the Sounders family, everything that makes this franchise special, and now he's part of it. And so you mentioned it, Michelle, this has been a process, but think about the ownership group from Russell Wilson and Sierra, Ken Griffey Jr., Drew Carey also. The only ones we're missing right now, I guess, would be Gary Payton and also Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe. But he's even talked about hearing a Sounders crowd when he was living in an apartment downtown in 2009 when he was still playing for the Mariners. So this is a huge thing.
Yeah, and it should be mentioned too. I mean, I guess he kind of backed his way into it, but the Sounders are a really well-run club. They're consistently good, so this is a great fit for him. And as a side note, our season tickets are right in the front row, and Drew walks by all the time. And my band recorded the theme to his old TV show, and sometimes he remembers me. Usually, he does not.
You just need to yell Cleveland every time you're near him, right? And then
the problem is everybody's yelling, Drew, 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 Drew. And I have to lean out further, and I just don't have the arm length for it. So, yeah.
I feel like there's a good side story there about how your band recorded the theme song. How did that happen?
Gosh, he was kind of a fan, and they already had the song picked out. It's not our song. It's this guy, Ian Hunter. And he actually came onto our tour bus. I don't remember where. And I had misunderstood the situation so badly because I didn't really understand the show that I immediately told him a joke about Cincinnati, even though the show's based in Cleveland. And it's a joke that I cannot repeat here about Marge Schott. But he was very polite and laughed at it anyway. And so that didn't scupper the deal.
On that note, we'll move on to the next hot topic. Kim Ng being hired by the Miami Marlins, the first ever female general manager in all of major male sports in all of North America. Absolutely incredible to see so many teams jumping on kind of the diversity train finally. But what do you guys think about this monumental hire?
Yeah, well, she's been in this field for like 30 years now. And I think it means a lot to everyone because it shows persistence, determination, and it doesn't matter who you are if you don't give up. And it just makes you feel like anything is possible. So I love that.
I agree, Eric. This is my favorite story of the week because this is not we have to hire a woman, so let's just take her situation. I mean, as you mentioned it, she's been ready for this job for more than 15 years. She was the right person for this job, and she was the right person probably for 6 other GM jobs that she was interviewed for. I'm a Dodger fan. She was a candidate back in 2005 when Paul DePodesta stepped down. I'm also a Mariners fan, and she was a candidate before they hired Jack Sorenzik. I can't wait to see what she does in Miami. But best of all, she's shattering barriers as a woman, as an Asian American woman, and one that is more than competent and more than able to do this job than any other candidate out there. So congratulations to Kim.
It's a thrilling development. It's so great, especially this year, to be surprised by something cool. But just to push back a tiny bit, the 4 Yankees teams she worked with, 98, 99, 2000, 2001, these are 4 particular Yankees teams that I despise with the heat of the sun. So that's all I'll say about that. And I'm sure she left in disgust after 2001. I would hope.
A Yankees team that eliminated the Mariners after their best season in franchise history, too.
Yeah, and pretty much had their number all 4. I think it ended badly in '99 against them too, right? That was the Indians? I don't know.
You know what? As sour Mariners fans, I will take it all day, Jason.
Yeah.
Good for Kim, but you know what? Yeah, we don't like those old Yankees teams. But the Marlins haven't done anything too terrible to the Mariners of late, so I'm on board with this.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you were as good news for her, if you were to ask any of us, okay, 6 months out of the year job, any city you want, go, don't overthink it. I think we'd all just say Miami for sure, definitely. I mean, it's gonna be fun.
Absolutely. Okay, next hot topic. This one I gotta say I love. I mean, it's so fun to see what Russell and Sierra Wilson come up with. I mean, they've done so many amazing things for the community, but this one's kind of on a different level. They released their perfume, cologne, whatever you want to call it, over the weekend called RMC. It's like a twisted his and her bottle. The holidays are coming up. Is that top of your gift list?
I think Jason's list it probably is.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not sure. I heard that they released it and it was intercepted in the end zone.
Oh, that's terrible.
Ching!
We'll cut that out.
I prepared that one. Sorry.
Well, it's cool because they're expressing their creativity and they're like doing something together. So they're showing they're unified. So it's fun. It's just something fun that they're doing.
I'm waiting for their reality show, their cartoon show to come out. I'm waiting for their Brandon potato chips and popsicles and toothbrushes and broomsticks to come out. I mean, what aren't these two coming up with right now? But at the end of the day, a portion of this goes to their charity. And if people like their stuff, then I guess it's great. Am I rushing out to buy the fragrance, or am I rushing out to buy Goodman brand clothes or Russell Wilson shoes? Or no, I'm not. Is Eat the Ball Company still in business? Is the recovery water business still in business? I don't know, but I appreciate their generosity and their creativity, and I love the fact that they're expanding their brand.
And I wish on any front I could do any of those things.
And I'm willing to try it if any of us get a bottle. I forget which side of the wrist you're supposed to put it on, but I'll do either one.
And you might as well smell good doing it, right?
Yeah, that's right. And this is the year, more how do we smell jokes than ever before. So I've been indoors for months and months. Put on my fancy shirt for you guys, though.
I think you look fabulous, Jason. Absolutely fabulous. And lastly here today, you guys, it just wrapped up over the weekend. The 2020 Masters played in November. Aaron, I know you're going to be excited to dig in with this one because you're a golf guy. But do you think it had the same oomph as the Masters of years past because it was going up against so many other sports competitions that weekend? Or do you think it kind of lacked its luster a little bit because it wasn't the centerfold, kind of the main focus of the weekend?
I'll take this one just because I am a golf fan, and you're right, Michelle. I think it lost a little bit of its luster. I don't think anybody really thought it was going to get close to the ratings it gets in April, because in April, nothing else is going on. And this weekend, you had college football. Then you go head-to-head with the NFL on Sunday. You had Dustin Johnson with a 5-stroke lead. There was no major drama in this one. Tiger Woods was out of it. He was busy getting a 10 on a hole for the first time in his career. But the best part about the Masters in November is the fact that we only have to wait 5 more months for the Masters in April, and that's when it should be. and I would watch that tournament anytime, anywhere. People have their other priorities. It's always a tough match going up against the NFL, though.
It does seem MLS, for instance, during their playoffs, sometimes they pivot to Sunday games during football, and that just seems like you're just asking for trouble. In all ways, if you're looking for ratings. So I didn't tune in at all this year, but how crazy did it look without the azaleas? It must have been just desert looking, right? Or
It wasn't as colorful, but it's still Augusta. It looked gorgeous.
okay. I'll bet internet can show me what it looked like if I check that.
I would say more it was weird without the fans. Again, I'm not used to watching these sports competitions, any kind, without fans.
Yeah. And I mean, I remember where I was sitting last year when I was watching Tiger Woods play. So
I know.
I think it could compare the scale of what was happening last year, regardless of the timing. Like, that was a really special moment. I was with my whole team. We were down in Houston. We were at a sports bar just watching the last bit of the Masters and seeing him win that.
Oh, guys, so appreciate you taking the time today to give your hot takes from the sidelines. Cliff Avril played 10 seasons in the NFL, 5 of which were spent with the Seattle Seahawks. Since his retirement following the 2017 season, Cliff has made countless radio and TV appearances, plus raised thousands of dollars for his family foundation. Now, earlier this week, I caught up with the now former defensive end. Cool. So excited to welcome Cliff Avril to Just a Bit Outside. Always love seeing you, my friend.
Always great catching up with you as well.
How have you been? It's been a while since we've seen each other. Obviously, a lot has gone down this last year. How are you and your family doing with COVID and kind of handling these strange times we're going through?
You know what? I have the mindset of just rolling with the punches, staying out the way and rolling with the punches. I've always kind of lived by, hey, control what you can control and, keep moving forward throughout whatever process it is. And this embodies that entire thing to the fullest. And that also includes my family, unfortunately, but we're making the best of the situation.
Anything fun that you guys have gotten into to like pass the time, or that you find that you guys are doing more now that we can't, I guess, live normal life?
I say this all the time is, it's interesting because this time makes me realize how much time I don't spend with my kids, because they're either at school or they're going to practice. It's almost like you're always throwing them, giving them away to other people to, do other things. So just building that relationship with the kids, we picked up bike, getting on the bike as a family, going on family walks, game nights. Every day we try to cater it to being some kind of family function, whether it's, like I said, game night, we train together, whatever it might be. Just trying to keep it light and fun, but also continue to try to pour into them and be the best parent you can be in these circumstances.
Silver lining too, that you're getting that time. Got to take full advantage of it. And now, Cliff, you mentioned bike rides right there. And if anybody follows you or any of the former Seahawks on social media, it's not just your family you're biking with. I'm seeing you and Cam Chancellor, Jermaine Kearse, Justin Britt. You guys have a little bike gang going. It's awesome.
We do. You know what? Cam Chancellor started it. He started cycling with some folks around town. And then he's like, hey, you guys should try it out. And, at the time I had me like a little hybrid bike. So I'm like, yeah, sure. Let's go try this thing out. And you start to realize like some people get after it, so after some time, next thing you know, I'm buying a real bike, a cycling bike. All the other guys have kind of done the same, and we get after it. We pick a certain day during the week and we go early in the morning, and we've hit up so many different trails over the last month and a half, 2 months. It's been fun. It's a different type of exercise, but it's been great for us because we don't like all that pounding and running and stuff. So this has been good.
Do you have a favorite trail that you've done so far?
We did the Issaquah Trail. I forget exactly what the exact name of it, but we did that one. But, we've done I guess it's the South Loop. We've done both North and South. Now we're going to do the whole thing of Lake Washington. But the South Loop is pretty fun. I hate hills, though. I tell the guys, let's avoid all the hills. If we can do that, I can go for 50 miles. But when we start adding hills to it, I'm only in for about 20, all right? But, we've done quite a few of them, and all of them have been great.
Has anyone surprised you that's been actually, like, surprisingly good at biking?
Yes, Justin Britt. He is, but you know what? He's the one that's not retired exactly, so I kind of understand it. But, yeah, Justin Britt being a big fella, he once he got the swing of things, he kind of likes leading the charge. Sometimes his pace is a little too much for me. So I'm like, hey, you guys go ahead. Just wait for me at the top of the hill. I'll be there in a little bit. But, Justin Britt is pretty impressive, I must say.
How fun is it that after everything you guys have been through, now you guys are doing bike rides together, but obviously it's just a testament to the brotherhood, the friendship you guys established while you guys were with the Hawks.
Exactly. I mean, we're all friends outside of football. Typically, you know, guys are just coworkers, just like any other organization. But no, we all genuinely care for one another. We all like hanging out with one another, and we all like to compete. Like at the same time, we're kind of competing deep down inside, you know, on these bike trips or whatnot. But yeah, it's fun. I mean, just being able to get with the guys and kind of still get that camaraderie that we used to get in the locker room. I think that's a big part of it as well.
Any talk that like after COVID, there might be some bigger things, like they always talk about like the Seattle to Portland ride or like destination bike trips or anything like that?
Yes, we've been talking about a few different trips. You know, we've actually talked about the Seattle to Portland. I didn't even know there was actual thing that like it's, I don't know what the dates are, but we were just randomly saying, hey, we want to let's just try to bike down to Portland one day. And then that, you know, a lot of people started talking about I guess it's a group of people or it might be even a race. I don't know, but we definitely plan on doing that one at some point. We've been looking at different locations throughout the country of actually going to and cycling as well. So yeah, we're getting serious about this thing. We're talking about getting our own uniforms and everything. Like we're official.
I love it. I love it. Any design take on the uniform yet? Like, are you going to have like Hawk Power or like Seahawks logos, or you're just like, no, we're going to do our own like thing for your like biker group?
We haven't made it that far. It was just an idea, but I'm kind of feeling where you're going with that. I'm kind of feeling where you're going with that. But it's gonna be it's gonna be fun because, like I said, we definitely been talking about kind of getting us a name and getting us some matching uniforms and different things like that. If we're gonna make this thing happen, we gotta be legit. All right, we gotta take full control of this thing.
I would expect absolutely nothing less from you, Cliff. Nothing less whatsoever. I know you've been kind of away from the game, from playing the game, I should say. You haven't been away from the game, but you've been away from playing the game for a couple years now. You did the radio thing for a while. We've seen you pop up on network TV. What are you up to now? Like, are you still involved with the Hawks? Are you working out with any of the players? Are you keeping your eyes on things? Or are you just kind of enjoying life as a football fan now?
Yeah, no, I'm doing a little bit of everything. I can't sit still. Like, that's the one thing. I just can't sit still. I can't do this whole retirement thing that people expect us to do when we're 34 years old, right? So, but, you know, I still have my SAC 360. I'm actually training a couple of guys right now during this little time. You know, I'm really heavy into real estate. I've been doing real estate for a long time, so I've been doing that as well. But then I'm just enjoying the game. I'm still communicating with a lot of the D linemen on the team and just trying to help those guys understand how they can get to the quarterback, because that's a big thing right now. That's a big one of the big question marks. So I want to try to, you know, influence and help them as much as possible. But I'm definitely very active still with the team, whether it's through the guys or just watching it as a casual fan.
Mm-hmm. Side note: I need a new house. Can you help me?
I can, depending on where you're trying to be. I got a couple of them about to come on the market here soon. So, hey, let me know.
Ooh, okay, we'll have to talk offline. I love that. We've got Thanksgiving coming up next week, and obviously for a lot of people, that means real good eats, but also football. You played with the Lions for several years, who always play on Thanksgiving. I know you had a game with the Hawks on Thanksgiving as well. What is it like as a football player, like this holiday that everyone grows up with, but like, no, you still got to go to work that day, and you are there to show up?
Well, you know, my first 5 years in the league, we played, like you just mentioned with Detroit, we played every Thanksgiving. So, so it wasn't anything different for me because that's all I knew as a pro. But it's a great feeling. One, because that's probably one of our only national games at the time was on Thanksgiving when I played for the Lions. So you had to play well because you know the family was going to be paying attention. But more so than anything, you look forward to that 3-day weekend. You look forward to the food after the fact. Of playing and different things like that. But again, it's just because, you know, everyone's watching, you know, it's everybody's watching with their turkey on their table and just enjoying, you know, some good old football. And you just got to go out there and show out. But it's always a pleasure and an honor, honestly, to play on Thanksgiving.
Well, and I know I certainly love watching it. So thank you, not to you only who did it for so many years, but to all the football players out there playing on Thanksgiving so we can be entertained. Seahawks, they unfortunately, you know, they've got dropped 2 in a row now, but it's a quick turnaround. They're playing Thursday against the Cardinals again. Can we expect revenge from the Hawks after their loss to Arizona earlier this year?
I definitely think so. You know, one thing about it, no matter how we slice and dice it, no matter how bad he might play, how great he might play, whatever the case may be, I'm talking about number 3. We know he's going to come prepared. He doesn't. I mean, it's rare that he loses 2 games back to back, let alone play bad in 2 games back to back, right? So I expect nothing but great things from Russ. You know, he has too much of a catalog in a sense to think that this will continue. You know, his mindset is so different from so many others. So I expect him to come out and make some things happen and go make some plays. DK, all those boys get involved. But also on the other side of the ball, I genuinely think that these guys are tired of all the extra noise that's coming with them not feeling as if they're adequate enough to hold teams down. You know, so going against the Cardinals, playing them a few weeks ago, a divisional opponent, a lot of things are on the line right now. I do see these guys going out here to make some noise on Thursday night for sure.
Do you miss playing?
Do I miss playing? People ask me that all the time, and I really don't, especially this year, because the one thing that I would miss is playing in front of the fans in CenturyLink. Well, ain't no fans this year, so there's nothing to really miss out on from that perspective. But what I do miss is the camaraderie, the locker room, being around the fellas. You know, the last 2 years being retired, I was still able to go get that same vibe whenever I needed to. You know, I can go to the locker room, go chop it up with Bobby and KJ and all those guys. This year, I can't necessarily do that, obviously, due to COVID. So that is what I miss most, is just being in the room and just being able to, you know, joke around and talk and have fun. But I don't miss, like, today's Monday. I don't miss that feeling, the Monday, Tuesday feeling. I don't miss that at all.
I can't even imagine that feeling. But see, now you got your biker team named to be decided, so you'll get that camaraderie there.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, it's the closest thing I can get to it, and it's only going to grow. I mean, we started off with like 2 guys. Now we're at like 7 or 8 guys. So I see this offseason. I guarantee you some of the players that's on the team right now will be a part of our squad, and we'll be a little bit everywhere this offseason.
I look forward to seeing it. So if you see a big group of guys riding bikes around, all right, 12, that's when you got to honk and get the Go Hawks and all that going, right?
They'll see the uniform. They're going to be like, that might be those guys that might be that team, the Seattle team right there.
Looking sharp. Well,
Exactly.
Cliff, always love catching up with you. Thank you so much for joining me and being a part of Just a Bit Outside. Always appreciate it.
Hey, anytime you need me, I got you. I appreciate you having me as always.
Aaron Levine joining me now. And Aaron, I could literally listen to Cliff Avril stories all day, every day.
Yeah, I mean, he's great. He's one of our favorites, obviously, Michelle. But the fact that, you know, he's gotten involved with some of the former Seahawks players in this whole little cycling group. I love Cam Chancellor. Every once in a while, he'll post the bike route that he took. And the other day, it was from Mercer Island all the way down past the Seahawks facility. And it's like, hey, Cam, could you stop by the Seahawks facility? They need a little help at safety right now. By the way, the mention of Justin Britt and how he's not fully retired, it's an interesting case considering COVID. And any other year, Justin Britt probably would have been signed by the Seahawks this week, given the injuries, the concussion protocol to Ethan Posick and Kyle Fuller sustaining a high ankle sprain. He's going to give it a go against the Cardinals on Thursday Night Football. But if they had that leeway and didn't have to bring somebody in and have them sort of quarantine for a few days before joining the team, I would have bet that Justin Britt would be on the roster right now.
And his journey probably isn't anywhere near close to being done, so we'll have to keep an eye on him, obviously, for the future. But switching gears, it's time for Emerald City Extras, where we dig through the press conferences to bring you little tidbits that didn't make our sportscast cuts. Now, this first bite is from a Seahawks press conference last week. Offensive tackle Dwayne Brown was on the podium and asked about how he's included yoga into his training session this season. Now, he cited that it's been great for his flexibility and taking pressure off his knees, and this is what he had to say when asked if he had a favorite position.
I don't even can remember all the names of them. I don't really like any of them, but they're necessary. You know what I mean? I think people don't understand. Like, downward dog in itself is like being 315 pounds and just putting all that pressure on your shoulders and make me sweat. And I watch people that are a lot smaller do it with ease and just sit in that pose forever. I don't understand it. But no, it's been great. It's been great.
Michelle, you would be surprised how many big football players actually get into yoga to increase their flexibility. It's something that I can't really wrap my mind around. And of course, I've never done yoga before, so I don't know any of the terms that he's referring to either.
Downward dog. Think like your dog in the morning when they stretch out and they put their little rear end up in the air. But I love how he broke it down with his weight and stuff, because it really gives you this whole idea of like, yeah, that would be a lot of pressure on your shoulders. Anyway, this next soundbite is for all the soccer lovers out there who really enjoy kind of the technical side of the game. Now, as many of you may have noticed, the Sounders always stack the back post when they're given a corner kick. Now, back in October, this decision was the difference in drawing or losing to the Portland Timbers. Will Bruin found the late equalizer in that very specific spot, and post-match he said that Schmetzer drew the play up for him exactly like he executed. But when Sounders head coach Brian Schmetzer was asked about it, he took none of the credit.
I'm going to give credit where credit is due. That particular play that we use on our set pieces actually came from Alan Hinton many years ago. We used to have a guy by the name of Peter Ward who used to play back in the 80s, a very good striker, but he was a small guy. And Alan would always move him to that back post area. So when the big guys would challenge, sometimes the ball drops there. And Alan always used to say, that there was 3 or 4 goals a year from that position. So what we try and do is make sure that we always get a player in that position. And tonight it was Jordan and Will kind of taking turns, and Will faded off, and, the big guys challenged, and he was in the right place and the right time, and he got the goal.
I love the fact that Alan Hinton is getting some credit from Brian Schmetzer. It's not been a great year for Alan, obviously, cutting ties with the Sounders because of some PC issues. He didn't exactly say things the right way, but I do know this from your and my interaction with Alan, that he does have a heart of gold and he truly cares about Sounders soccer through and through, Michelle.
And I love listening to Brian Schmetzer talk, Aaron, especially when he dives into something like that play. It just really hits home again, the history behind this club and the way that they've been doing things both on and off the pitch for decades now. Well, that's a wrap on this week's Emerald City Extras. We'll see what we can dig up for you next week. And moving right along, it is trivia time. Aaron still remains undefeated as our trivia master. Will that still be the case after today? Let's find out with the help of Jessamine McIntyre. Here's On the Clock with Aaron Levine.
Well, let's welcome in Martin Verrilman. He followed us on Twitter at Martin Verrilman. Where do you live and what do you do?
I live in Anacortes, and I am a firefighter paramedic. I've been a paramedic for 28 years now.
Well, we thank you very much for everything that you do, and also love your shirt. Go Kraken.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I cannot wait to get to an NHL hockey game up here.
A lot of us can't wait. So here's how it works tonight. Each of us have a minute to answer as many questions as possible. You're playing for a $100 gift card to Daniel's Broiler. You have to beat me outright to win. A tie will go to the house. I also want to mention that these trivia questions are provided by our friend Fish, Jeff Aaron's Fame Trivia USA. Be sure to check them out at Fame Trivia USA on Facebook. They host trivia nights all over the area. They are a ton of fun. I'm going to give you the honors here. I'm turning the volume on my computer down. I'm taking my earphones out. I'm actually going to put on headphones right now. We got a little bit of Linkin Park going for you. Can you hear that? I got to press play first. There we go.
Okay.
A little Linkin Park today.
Yeah, I love the bass
Jessamine
there.
McIntyre standing by. Take it away.
Yes,
Okay.
I am. Martin, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, Martin, you are officially on the clock. In the official rules of the game of checkers, which player moves first, red or black?
Red.
What was the name of the popular haircut named after a character from the TV show Friends?
Pass.
What college football team ended Clemson's 36-game regular season win streak in 2020?
Notre Dame.
His real first name is Edward. He is a survivor, instructor, and best known for his TV show Man vs. Wild. Who is he?
Pass.
What candy product is known as the Fresh Maker?
Mentos.
Which Save the World politician was also given credit for coining the term information superhighway?
Pass.
What company advertised Bet You Eat Just One?
Lay's.
All right, Martin, that will do it. Congratulations. You got 3 answers right. Okay, Aaron, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Aaron, you are on the clock. In the official rules in the game of checkers, which player moves first, red or black?
Black.
What was the name of the popular haircut named after a character from the TV show Friends?
The Rachel.
What college football team ended Clemson's 36-game regular season win streak in 2020?
Pass.
His first real name is Edward. He is a survivor instructor and best known for his TV show Man vs. Wild. Who is he?
Pass.
What candy product is known as the Fresh Maker?
Pass.
Which Save the World politician was also given credit for coining the term information superhighway?
Pass.
What company advertised Bet You Can't Eat Just One?
Lay's.
What company what league can you win the Grey Cup trophy?
CFL.
In minutes, how long does a round in the men's UFC title fight last?
3.
That'll do it. I'm so sorry, Martin. It was a very thin margin, but it looks like Aaron is once again a winner.
That was a tough one today, Martin. Great game. Just for playing, we've got a Q13 Fox coffee mug for you, so you can stay up at night and practice your trivia going forward. A huge shout out to Anacortes, by the way, and thanks again for playing.
Thank you very much for having me on.
Here are the answers. Black goes first in checkers. The Rachel was a popular hairstyle. Notre Dame ended Clemson's streak. Bear Grylls was on Man vs. Wild. Mentos was the Fresh Maker. Al Gore coined the term information superhighway. Bet You Can't Eat Just One was for Lay's potato chips. The Grey Cup was awarded in the Canadian Football League, or is awarded in the Canadian Football League, and a round in the UFC is 5 minutes long. How did I not know that? These matches are close, but we're still sort of coming out on top. Michelle?
And for the record, Aaron, I did have the Rachel haircut. Not that anyone needed to know that or cared. But if you want to take on Aaron and be a part of On the Clock, just head over to Twitter and send us a note at Aaron Q13 Fox for your chance to join us on the show. And before we wrap things up on this week's Just a Bit Outside, let's take a look at the headlines we are tracking by checking in on the top storylines brought to you by WaFd Bank. Get free checking at a best bank, wafdbank.com. First, the NBA has announced their finalized format for the 2020-2021 season. This will include a 72-game season starting on December 22nd and will include a play-in tournament for playoffs. Former Mariners second baseman and current New York Mets Robinson Cano has been suspended for the entire 2021 season after testing positive for performance-enhancing drugs. This is the second time it's happened in his career. And lastly, WSU head basketball coach Kyle Smith has tested positive for COVID-19 and will miss the Cougars opener on November 25th against Texas Southern. At this time, no players or other members of the coaching staff have tested positive. Smith has minor symptoms, obviously wishing him a speedy recovery. Bringing back in Aaron now for our picks this week and against all odds. Take it away, Aaron.
Well, here's what happened last week, Michelle. We got a little cocky. We started the week 2-0. We started telling everybody about it. And of course, we did not win a single game from there on out. So let's go over what happened last week. Full transparency. We won with the Colts and Iowa and then lost with Penn State, the Seahawks, and the Chargers. It's our first losing week. So we're now 13-7 over the first month. So we've still got a pretty good overall record. This week, I would prefer to stay away from the Thursday night game, but since it's tradition, I will make a pick. Seahawks -3 against Arizona. I really like Indiana and the points against Ohio State. Stanford has not shown me anything this season, so I'll take the Cougs and the points on the road. And on Sunday, I've got the Falcons and the points at the Saints, and I'll take the Bucks -3.5 against the Rams on Monday Night Football. Hopefully, we'll do just a little bit better than last week and get our selves back on a winning train.
I love that, Aaron. Let's get those wins, and let's get that win Thursday night for the Seahawks. On that note, that does it for us here on Just a Bit Outside, presented by WaFd Bank. Join a best bank. A huge thanks to Cliff Avril, Eric Duechle, and Jason Finn for joining the show. For Aaron Levine and our entire production crew, I'm Michelle Ludtka. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you same spot, same time next week.